Dear Lord, sharks are such nuisances. Welcome back, folks, to another presentation by yours truly, Colin. If you're wondering where my goggles and old shirt went, I was diving in the trench. A goblin shark attacked me, ate my goggles and shirt. Good thing I brought a backup. Looks pretty stylish if I do say so myself. We scare because we care. Okay, never mind. All right, welcome to Colin Sheehan's presentation. Why do we never change these things? Crap. God dang it, no. Okay, so. Okay. As I was saying, folks, welcome to Colin Sheehan's Science Final Project. Let's start, shall we? Starting with the atmosphere. We're not going to have a troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere, and exosphere. We're going to be keeping things simple. The inner layer, the central layer, and the muddled layer, the outmost layer. Like the mesosphere protects us, the muddled layer will help slow down any threats that enter our atmosphere. Oxygen will make up 70% of the inner layer and 40% of the central layer. Nitrogen will make up 30% of the inner layer and 30% of the central layer. 5% of the central layer will be other gases. Don't ask me what those gases are. The entire muddled layer and the remaining 30% of the central layer will be made up of a new gas called gelatin flotalis. This is a very thick and dense kind of gas, which slows down anything going in or out of our atmosphere. The side of the Earth that isn't facing the sun, the air there will look tinted a very light green. This is because in the air, there are microscopic harmless bacteria that do not favor sunlight. The side that faces the sun will just look like the air on Earth, not visible. The clouds will look like normal, but occasionally the rain will be green. This is because the muddled layer keeps growing and it needs to shrink itself so bad things don't happen. You don't want to know what those things are. It transforms some of its consistency into a liquid form, and it comes out of clouds as rain. It'll usually be cloudy and sunny, but during certain times of the year, the muddled layer will need to shrink, causing a very rainy day. The temperature will stay in the 20 to 90 degree range, kind of like Earth's temperature, but more stable. Warm fronts are usually more victorious in taking over the weather than cold fronts. Stationary fronts are far less common, because the warm air fronts usually overtake the cold fronts. Continental tropical and maritime tropical air masses are far more common. I've just realized that my planet sounds like a rainforest. But when the muddled layer rains come in, cold fronts start to win more. Since the rain is pretty cold, given it was in the outer layer of our planet's atmosphere, there are more oceans and water. Could you go back one slide? Oh, good. There are more oceans and water than land on my planet, like our original planet. The ground will be rich in water and minerals, since the muddled layer rains every few days or so, and the liquid in it is rich in vitamins. This makes the fresh water on our planet taste delicious, and it's healthy. The water cycle will behave similarly to Earth's water cycle: precipitation, condensation, evaporation, runoff, that stuff. But it will also include a new step called crystallization. The minerals in the rainwater will occasionally become a type of crystal called gelide. This stuff. It has an aroma similar to vanilla mixed with limes. Interesting, I know. These crystals aren't too sturdy, so they erode and can get back into the water cycle that way. The water is always a vibrant green color, kind of like the color of a highlighter. It doesn't stain anything, thankfully, but still, keep your small children away from it, hopefully. Just don't let them play with it. The temperature of the water can vary depending on where it is. Numerous new life forms have been discovered in this planet's hydrosphere, such as new species of frogs, whales, hippopotamuses. Sorry, folks, I gotta hide. Are they gone? Okay, they're gone. Sorry, folks. That was another species called the Shadowus multiplicatus. It's a species of frog that can shape its body into anything. Never mind. Hippopotamuses and more completely new creatures. Most of these life forms haven't been in contact with humans, so most of them don't know any better than to show no harm. Keyword most. Some animals will lash out at us, and they can pack a pretty big punch, such as the shadow that I just experienced attacking me. We'll get water from numerous lakes and rivers around the world, and since the muddled layer rain is high in nutrients, it cancels out any salt in the water, making oceans drinkable. The hydrosphere is kind of the backbone of any society, as water is essential for species survival. People also use the rainwater to bathe in. Since the water has minerals in it, it acts as a natural skin cleanser and lotion. And it can also be used for many other things, such as washing dishes, brushing teeth, toilet flushing, and more. Pretty useful water, if I do say so myself. Unlike the Earth, which layers are mostly made up of basalt and granite, this planet's layers are going to be different kinds of metamorphic rock, such as quartzite and eclogite. But in common to our Earth, my planet will have a crust, mantle, and core. The core is a small star, and it gives heat to the planet alongside the sun of our solar system. Please don't ask me how it got there. I do not want to look into that many physics. Excuse me, folks. The Earth's crust is 7 to 50 kilometers deep. The mantle is 2,900 kilometers thick. And last but not least, the inner core is 2,200 kilometers thick. And the inner core is 1,250 kilometers thick, made completely from different metals and such. This planet has the same blueprint as the Earth, crust, mantle, and core. Only difference to the structure is that the core is bigger than Earth's. And as I said before, the core helps us not revert into an ice age and make us look like this. You don't want to look like that, trust me. And as I said before, this is because we are farther away from our sun than Earth is to its sun. I have not said that before. I am crazy. Don't listen to me. At least that part. Since my planet has a more solid mantle, it won't move the crust like our mantle, which is more liquidy than my planet's. This causes my planet to not have any tectonic plates. Unlike Earth, which has divergent plate boundaries, which move in opposite directions outward, causing phenomena such as the mid-Atlantic ridge, right here. Convergent plate boundaries, which travel towards each other and crash into one another, create volcanoes and mountains. And lastly, transform boundaries are caused when two plates rub next to each other, which create earthquakes, right there. Even though Earth's rain has a tad bit of minerals inside of it, my planet's rain has a crud ton of minerals and vitamins inside of it. This makes the trees grow amazingly. It makes very fertile farmland for all of us. Since the ground is so tough, it makes it hard to gather gems or minerals. But not to worry, but not impossible. Underneath the ground, there are vast tunnel systems of an undiscovered species similar to ours, thought to have gone extinct. These tunnels are chock full of precious gems and minerals for the taking. Almost like the moles on our planet, only sentient and much more intelligent, at least we think. The most important natural resources Earth has are water, air, and soil. But there are also others such as metals, oil, sand, sunlight, animals, and others listed here. Earth may have some beautiful sights, such as the Grand Canyon caused by erosion and the Great Barrier Reef, which was created by flooding. But my planet has some even more amazing sights, such as the infinite waterfall surrounded by sakura trees, the Eastern Lights, beautiful sight, and the infamous water deer migration ground. A beautiful sight indeed, folks. You should travel there. It'll be in another galaxy, but a galaxy that isn't too far away from the Milky Way. It'll probably be in the Andromeda galaxy, since it's the closest galaxy to us. Even though it may be 2.537 million light years away from us, we persevere. This planet will also be about as far away as Mars is to our sun, approximately 129.62 million miles away, maybe a bit closer. This will make the planet cooler, but not to worry. My planet's core is much bigger than Earth's, so it can keep us warmer for the rest of the human race. Hopefully. Anyways, we'll be orbiting only one out of the 1 trillion plus stars in this dang galaxy. And my planet's rotation would take half the time as Earth's rotation. If this was a planet with a more liquidy mantle, such as the Earth, our crust, the very thing we walk on, would slowly turn into lava and magma, giving us all a slow and painful demise. But fortunately for this planet, the mantle is more solid than liquid, sort of like Oobleck, which was over here. I'm not smart. So we don't meet our demise. And due to the rapid rotation of our new planet, the seasons would also be a whole lot shorter. The main factor that comes into play that we're going to have to figure out is what we're going to do with the whole planet having new life forms to deal with. Sure, we have creatures like mosquitoes, scorpions, jellyfish, but this planet has life forms much worse than those. One of the many new dangerous life forms is the triple stinger moth croc. 3 stingers on stalks like a scorpion, each packed with enough venom strong enough to knock out 20 blue whales. It also has the wing structure of any common moth or butterfly, each with a ripple-like pattern. This is so the creature can hide underwater, and when its preferred prey wanders around, bam, its crocodilian body snatches it up and drowns it underwater. Pleasant, I know. It also uses its stingers when its prey puts up a bigger hassle than hoped for. I would not want to run into that thing. And no, we cannot travel through the planet's atmosphere without a very long time. The muddled layer of the atmosphere is made of a dense fog, and so it slows down anything that enters our atmosphere. Downside is, it also keeps anything inside the layer, well, inside. And even if we got out of the muddled layer, my planet doesn't have any moons or close enough neighbors, so there isn't anything worth going out there for. I would take most of the plants from Earth, because if we take those plants and let them grow off of the muddled layer rains, they can grow much faster and efficiently because of the boosted minerals in the water, and produce more food for us. I would also try and transport any and all animals that I could, but they'd probably die out in the next few years, due to their generous neighbors in the animal kingdom. Or they could adapt. Like this dog could grow another pair of 50 legs, and this dog here could grow massive fangs and a taste for flesh. Who knows? Not me. I won't be bringing any animals such as ticks, mosquitoes, and pretty much any animals that have been known to cause mass death in our community. We also wouldn't bring any automobiles, including cars, buses, trucks, etc. This is because they just bring unneeded pollution to our planet, and if we bring them, this new planet as well. The hydrosphere helps make the biosphere grow better and more efficiently, because the hydrosphere on my planet, as I've said before, is packed with minerals from the muddled layer rains. This makes the trees and plants thrive, causing them to grow much faster and more compared to their environment on Earth. The hydrosphere will also help provide nutrients for the lithosphere, because it creates groundwater, and that makes my planet better suitable for life. The cryosphere still supports the other spheres, but less than the hydrosphere, since the ice on my planet is made from a different material that can't mix with the water on our planet. Kind of like vegetable oil, but not. The atmosphere is the most important because it creates most of the hydrosphere on the planet, and that hydrosphere helps the other spheres thrive. Way to go, atmosphere. I'm never going to do that again. Sorry, folks. The most important jobs will probably involve the new wildlife on this planet, such as animal tamers, veterinarians, zookeepers, etc. The schools will stay the same, learning the same stuff, but also about the history/modern history of this planet. And also, please no class pets. We don't want a bedbug crawling around the school. They are massive on this planet. But kind of like dogs, drink blood, look like that. Anywho, the medical facilities could change a bit since the new resources on this planet yell out to new tools and better efficient cures in medicine. The economy would have to settle a tad bit after being pulled to a new planet, but it would stay the same. We may be able to discover ancient cultures from this planet's ancient history and adapt those into our own. For food, we have the best growing plants on our planet, and now we have a wide range of new meat to harvest. And last but not least, transportation. We would ride on the backs of numerous giant beasts, like the arachno whale for water transport, the Payni eagle for air transport, and the world-bearing turtle. Yep, this planet actually has that legend. Please don't ask about the Bigfoot and the Loch Ness Monster, though. They got evicted a while ago. For land transportation and others, we don't only have one species for transportation around the world, all right? We gotta have different creatures for the same job, so we don't get stuck when those life forms die out, or get tired eventually. And folks, that brings us to the end of my presentation. Thank you all for tuning in, and remember what I said at the beginning? You did not see that. Good day.